What's up, guys? This is Malicious Raider kicking off FIFA 16 with a little bit of a career mode here. We're going to be going ahead and adding the 60% increase and also the Global Transfer Network 5-star scout. Thought about going with Arsenal here. That is the team that I support overall. With the start of the game already here, that's just about what everybody's doing is their go-to teams, which undoubtedly is the English Premier League, and a lot of people do support Arsenal. A lot of big name YouTubers as well. So I decided to look elsewhere and do a more creative of a career mode to kick off FIFA 16. Looking for a little bit of a challenge, we decided to go to Spain and the BBVA. Obviously, the big two teams there controlling everything overall. In the past, I've been doing career modes by myself, looking at SD Eibar as my main team to go into. They have very historic storyline behind them, being the smallest club and smallest stadium in La Liga, so I decided it would be a good team to go after. We are going to be doing this career mode on Legendary. 6-minute halves like usual. We are going to go ahead and add the Champions League and Europa League for the first season, and we will be disabling the first summer transfer window. Other than that, this is going to be a pretty long career mode series that I'm going to have on my channel. I will be adding some other series here in about a month probably. I'll be adding some of my other career modes and tournament modes that I like to do throughout FIFA 16 and want to share with you guys. I was just looking through the rest of the options here. You're going to see here United States is the country that we're going for. Malicious Raider would be the name. Decided to go with Mal Raider, a little bit more of a actual name there, so I think it's a little better of a name to go by. And as you see here, we're looking to possibly get on the international stage. I don't know if I'll take a national team in this career mode because I am going to have to focus a lot on this SD Eibar squad. With obviously disabling that summer transfer window, we will be playing through the first half of the season with the original squad, looking to strengthen possibly pretty heavily in the winter transfer window. Just saving it here. Gonna go ahead and put it under an Eibar career mode, and we will move on from here. A little road to glory is basically what I'll probably be calling this series, because that's really what it's going to be. We aren't starting in the lowest division, but this is definitely going to be something where it's actually going to be hard to stay up in La Liga, and that's going to be the biggest challenge for us. Here we're looking at the preseason tournaments that we got invited to. All of them 3 stars, a little bit of a variance in the prizes, so we are going to go ahead and go into this first option. Looked like a pretty easy tournament to go into, a pretty good one to see the strength of the squad. I do run through the squad right here. I have played with this team in the past, like I said. A lot of players that I do recognize from the past. Luna being the big transfer for them this year, coming over from, I believe, Aston Villa. Good player, strong left back. Problem with the squad, they do not actually have a out and out right back in the squad, at least in FIFA's eyes. So we will definitely be looking for that in the transfer window. Other than that, we do have some strong wingers, in my opinion. Kappa, whatever his name is. Very strong right mid that I did like a lot in the last FIFA, and it was good to see that he was still in the squad at a 73 overall. Definitely going to be able to train him up and turn him into a quality player. This man right here, Vardy, I believe he's actually on loan for us, but he will be a good player, and I'm still going to try to increase his stats through training and hopefully maybe sign him overall in the future. We do take a right mid and put him at striker. He is also on loan. Can't pronounce his name. Also would probably actually like to get him fully in the squad if I can, because he is a little bit of a pacey right mid, and he does have that option to play at striker. Not too bad finishing. I believe it's around a 70, so it should be pretty good up front. at least do enough of a job with that pace and strength. I think he'll do well with the squad around him. Other than that, we're kind of moving around players off of the bench, putting them into the substitutions. This is going to be my main first team squad, most likely. Even though we are going into friendlies here, the first game I did want to try out the full squad to see how they worked in this game. So I decided to put full strength out in this game, and I believe the second game as well I did. I am recording this commentary afterwards, and this video is basically going to cover showcasing the team in the beginning, and this video will also cover the entire preseason tournament. I did want to get it all in one video because at the end of the day, even though this is a new part of FIFA, it's really not that interesting. It's still preseason matches. It is a little bit of silverware if you can win the title, but it's not that big of a deal, so I didn't want to spend too much time on it. This is going to be a pretty lengthy video, but at the end of the day, I think it's better to knock it out in one video than to cause it to go over multiple days and multiple videos. Kicking off the first game here, we, like I said, are going to put out almost a full squad. We do change out the center back because he did ask if he could get some gameplay time. Obviously wanting to keep our youth players happy. I'm more than happy to do that, especially in a preseason match. So we're going to go ahead and go into the game. Like I said, all of these games are going to be on Legendary. Kind of the main reason for why this is coming out a little bit later after the release and not the first day. I did want to make sure that the squad, or I was strong enough as a player to play on Legendary, because I didn't want to vary that in the middle of a season, switching from World Class to Legendary as I got better at the game. I will be showing highlights of the preseason matches throughout. Like I said, I think this is a pretty good squad. The passing is relatively strong, and that's one of the biggest parts of this game. Body feints I've been pretty good with these players, and you'll see I'll get a few penalties here and there. Forcing that contact in the box does a lot in this game. It's so important. Here at the free kick, I did notice our right mid that we put at a striker. He has insane free kicks, and it was really good to see that even from a low-rated player. We do have such a strong free kick taker, and we won't have to worry about that in the next transfer window. Like I said, I do want to try to get this guy in my main squad after this season because he does look like a very strong player, whether we keep him on the wing or put him at striker. If we can get him fully into the squad, I'm not sure yet, but that's something we'll come at in the future because you never know how much money we may come into with some of the youth players that we bring in. We could end up with a better striker over time. Disappointed to miss that header for sure. Kappa's not the strongest header, clearly. Very strong winger though, and he will definitely be scoring quite a few goals for us if he does play as well as he did in FIFA 15. Winning the ball back here, a little bit of passing, rough. Still trying to get used to these mechanics and mainly these passing mechanics in this game. It's much different than FIFA 15, and although I do now feel more comfortable playing on Legendary, I'm still not 100% with the passing. Kicking off into the second half here, I start to realize the strength in this team. Like I said, the body feints in this game are a little overpowered. The defenders in the box get a little too risky, and they will definitely come at you. Unluckily here, we did only get a free kick out of it. I do find it funny that the computer does try to go past the spray line. The refs do miss it actually in this game every once in a while. Here, thought about going for the direct free kick, but decided instead to go for a cross. A little bit of a lucky bounce to my player, Danny Garcia, very strong center defensive mid. I believe he is 24. Should be a promising player for us in the future, and I definitely don't have any interest in selling him anytime soon. A little bit of a legend for the squad also. He spent, I believe, 2 or 3 years on loan at Eibar, and then officially signed a full contract last year with the squad. So he is officially into the squad, and like I said, a very strong player. With this squad, it seems like it is going to be very momentum based, as you guys will see here. We do run these these goals pretty close together. A little bit of a build-up play, taking Kappa around to the edge, and we are going to run into the box, and another body feint gets the defender to bait onto the ball and actually knocks us down. So solid penalty force right there from Kappa. But that's definitely going to be the majority of my goals, especially with this team, because I don't really have an out-and-out striker that I'm really comfortable with. We slot away the penalty right there. He's going to be a very vital player for the squad. A little bit on the older side, but a legend for the squad nonetheless. Actually plays center forward for the team in real life, but wasn't really that strong of a player in my opinion, and he does play better at that FIFA position that they gave him at center attacking mid, which every once in a while he does lay back a little bit in real life and play that role. But like I said, very strong player. Even though he is only a 71 overall, I believe, he will be a vital part for the team, and actually might be starting games even though he has a lower rating than some of our other players. Here, just a little bit of build-up play from the defenders. Even though it's on Legendary, I'm finding that they are making a little more mistakes than they did in FIFA 15, which is good because playing teams, I'm sure everyone, obviously that first game that you have to play when you get FIFA 16 is Real Madrid and Barcelona, and they make you play with Real Madrid unless you switch it in the menu. Playing Barcelona, especially on a higher difficulty, is a pain, and I'm not going to enjoy playing them in this career mode. Their passing is incredible, and they rarely make mistakes on Legendary. So it's definitely going to be a hard task for us. The elite passers, I think, in this game are going to be the best players in the game. Finishing wise, I think, especially in the future in this career mode, we're going to be looking for players that have a little more pace. Pace isn't too important into this game, but it is slightly important, but mainly strength is a big one, because these center backs are catching up to these faster strikers because they're not on the ball, which arguably is realistic. They're just pushing strikers off of the ball way too easily, and it's causing some serious problems. That's why you're seeing all these. Ibra is going to be a very strong player. Falcao, Diego Costa is going to be a strong striker in this game. Olivier Giroud actually is pretty good from the games I played with Arsenal. Did a little bit of head-to-head and found that I was actually enjoying playing with Olivier Giroud. So those stronger players, those stronger strikers are definitely going to be what we're looking for. This is a lovely worked goal. It was nice I was able to do some body feints there and not actually force a penalty, but a good shot on the left foot. And a very strong finish, and I was very happy with that, to see that we do have a impressive striker at our disposal, or not necessarily striker but finisher. That is the end of the game. A solid 3-0 victory, not against the hardest opponent in the world, but then again, we're not really the strongest team in the world. So I was definitely impressed with the first team to be able to grab that victory, and especially with having that weak center back at the back, although we really didn't get challenged that much. I didn't put many of the chances the opponent had in the video, mainly because they really didn't have that many chances. They couldn't get really past our midfield that often, and if they did, they were taking long shots that just really weren't worth it. What you guys saw right there, I did do a little bit of training in between. Haven't really decided if I'm going to put the training in the video. The reason I cut that one out is because I actually did go in and played some of those skill games and actually tried to get the highest ratings possible. I'm comfortable with the majority of the skill games in here, but not all of them. So there are some that I will sim just because I'm not that strong of a skills game person in that aspect in some of those games. The ones I do feel comfortable with, the ones I think I can get about an A to a B rating, I think I will do. For the majority of those, I believe I got an A on almost all of them. There was one I believe I got a D because I ended up screwing up some of the passing in it. But the skill games are pretty fun. A little bit of a time waste sometimes. If you're not that strong in skill games, I would definitely say skip it. Go ahead and simulate them, because you will probably get somewhere in that B to D range, and it's really still growing your player pretty well. If you are really good at those skill games, definitely go ahead and play them. If you can get them all done in first try, you can usually get all of those skill games done in less than 10 minutes. Since I did take a few tries in those skill games, it did take me about 30 minutes, and that's why I cut them out of the video. Not really very interesting watching skill games for 30 minutes as I sit there and struggle with some of them and learning some of the mechanics of the game still. Here I'm making my second squad because, like I said, I was going to use different players in these preseason tournament games, and also in the future I will probably be using a second team here and there. Not too often, obviously, because I'm not having a very strong second team that I feel comfortable enough putting out there. The two strikers we do have that I do go over and think about putting into the second squad, both are pretty slow, but like I said, pace isn't that important into this game, so I'm not too worried about it. A little bit of strength there, and I am kind of comfortable with them, but more liking that right mid that I'm putting as striker right now. We do go ahead and jump into this second game. I have noticed that a lot of times I'm doing that finesse shot without actually pressing the button to do a finesse shot, and it's causing these weak shots that are never going to get by the keeper, especially near post. We do try to work. I'm getting a lot of corners into this game, which is good. It means that the computer is actually clearing balls more often, which is a little more realistic than the kind of chaos that went in effect in FIFA 15 that caused all of those crazy rebounding goals that nobody wanted to concede because they just were so irritating. This is a actually very strong team. I believe they're in the first division of the Italian league, if I'm not incorrect in saying that. This team actually gave me a run for my money both times I played them. Not going to spoil the outcome of the games, but very, very strong team. And this, I should say, is still my first squad. I actually forgot to change the squad over to my second team before going into this game, so I think a few of my players were a little too tired. As you see right here, my left mid is exhausted already, and it's only the 30th minute of the game, so that may have come into play with how much I struggled playing against this team. As you see, they just pass all over me this entire way. I think this is at least a solid 15 pass goal chance right here. Almost got scored on by that unlucky deflection, but it did hit the post indeed, which was a little positive for me, and I was lucky to get the ball right here. Passing out of the back, I have noticed, is just not a good idea in this game. It's very dangerous, and I'm conceding actually goals every once in a while because I'm ended up passing straight to a defender because my goalkeeper's not passing well enough, or ball is being taken because the big thing in this game was that they did a complete rehaul of the defending in this game, and they're actually smarter. They're picking out passes, which is awesome, but they're a little too strong with it at the whenever you're trying to pass out of the back, which makes you rethink the game, and I'm totally fine with it. At the end of the day, it does make me think about my game a little bit more, and that's totally fine at the end of the day. Managed to make it through the first half 0-0. Strong start to that game, but not a strong finish, or the half rather. Starting the second half, we picked up right where we left off at the end of the first half. They just passed all over me. I felt like I could not get the ball. My defense was shoddy, and it was just a lovely over-the-top through ball to the left foot of their striker, and a beautifully worked goal. And I just sat there in amazement that I conceded that goal right off of kickoff. I just could not get a touch of that goal for my life, and it does have me a little worried coming up against these La Liga giants that are so strong at passing. Every once in a while my game just falls apart, and at the back I just can't control it. Lost the ball right there off the kickoff, and they went right down the wing, hit that crossover, and got a beautiful header. Again, couldn't really complain against the goal. My team's exhausted. It was my fault. Put in the wrong squad for the game. At the end of the day, I'm not really sure if the outcome would have been any different, though, because I would have put out a weaker team. This was just a very good Italian side, and I really couldn't complain. The squad's just not really where I want it to be. Capo, like I said, he's going to be a strong player from the outside cutting in. I think he's going to create a lot of chances for us, but I just need to get his finishing up a little bit, and I probably will take him into training soon to increase his shooting ability and finishing ability. Right now, I'm focusing more so on those younger players that are have that promising logo on them, trying to break them up as fast as possible. As the season progresses and those players get a little higher ranked, I'm going to focus more so on those younger players in that 50-60 range, trying to bring them up, and also some of my more established first team players, trying to get them a little stronger stats to increase their stats as well. And that's going to be your Danny Garcia and Kappa, all of those players. I think they're going to be great for me. I should say that my goal in this preseason tournament was to use whatever funds I got from this to have a world-class youth scout for the squad, because with the funds that I had, I didn't feel comfortable spending them all on a scout. So although I could use the 3 to 4 million that I got from this tournament on a player in the winter transfer window, I decided instead to put those funds towards a scout, because in the end, I think getting those high level youth players, rather, getting them into the squad is going to be very vital for the growth of this team. Because once I get those players in, even if I do sell them on, I'm going to sell them on for a lot of money, and I have in the past. So either having them in the squad for a long period of time, or selling them on to another club, like maybe a Bayern Munich or an Arsenal, Man United, one of those teams that are looking for youth players that they want to bring up that are promising. They'll pay a ton of money for. They won't even think about it in career mode. So hopefully I can get one of those players and multiples of those players, because I don't want to sell them all, obviously. I do want to keep them in. I don't want to cause this to be a feeder club. I do plan on taking this team into the Champions League like I did in FIFA 15. There again, I did another one of those finesse shots that I didn't actually press the button for, so it's a little frustrating when those come off, but I think that's more just me trying to get used to the finishing controls, still trying to figure out what kind of shots that I can take. This game is going to sadly end 1-0. Would have wanted more goals out of the game, obviously still trying to figure out the strongest players in this team. This was my second team squad that I put in, because like I said, my team was exhausted after that game against the Italian squad. But they did well. The keeper was the only player, I believe, that I kept constant through the preseason cup. Quality keeper, possibly looking for a stronger keeper in the future. But at the end of the day, we do win this game, and this actually takes us into the final, and we do meet up with Cesena from Italy once again, trying to get our revenge on this team for beating us in the group stages. This is for all of the marbles going into the final of the cup. This is a game that's worth, I guess it was probably worth, what, 2 million? Or worth $1 million in difference, because I think loser was going to get $1 million out of this game, and winner was going to get about 2 to finish out that $4 million for winning the cup. Kappa, like I said multiple times in this video already, he's such a strong player going down that wing and cutting in. Reminds me of a lot of players that I enjoy playing with. If you were to put Santi Cazorla on the edge of the box and bring him in. I was so frustrated to score this goal, by the way. Sorry to just kind of jump back into the gameplay here, but it was such a frustrating goal to concede, and those are the type of goals that I'm conceding in Ultimate Team. Those rebounds, just kind of like moseying in. Goalkeepers are not catching the ball as much as I thought they would whenever they said that they reworked the goalkeepers again for the second year in a row. EA has said that they reworked the goalkeepers, but they still will not catch the ball, and it is the most frustrating thing in FIFA. But conceding that goal, I knew it was going to be a hard game, because Legendary, they love to pass around the back regardless of what time is left on the clock, and I knew I was going to have to fight to get this win. Right here, I do not know how I do not score this. For whatever reason, my keeper, whenever he hits the ball, it rebounds straight back to the player. Whenever they rebound the ball, it goes straight into the air and he can catch it. So, very frustrating goal to have missed right there. Definitely would have put me in a much better position for this game because, as you can see, it is the 40th minute. Still early in the game, but I knew the closer we got to that second half, the harder it was going to be because they were going to slowly start sitting back more, passing in the back more. It was just going to be a hard goal. These free kicks, I am determined to score a free kick with one of my players. I have such strong free kick takers on this team. The heading is just not there. I'm still working with a few players here trying to get their heading up because I am missing a lot of corners. Going into the second half here, like I said, I knew this was going to be very frustrating. There was going to be a lot of very careful passing and very careful play by the CPU here. Legendary is just such a hard difficulty to play on, obviously. But I do love that challenge, and that is why I decided to go with it. I'm still winning games. Obviously, I only lost to this team in this preseason cup, which does make me feel good about going into this La Liga season, as long as I can make it through that first half of the season in that maybe middle of the table. As you can see here, I'm just going for long shots at this point. I didn't feel comfortable enough with my build-up play. The computer was reading my passes a lot. They were sitting back, and I just wasn't comfortable. So I was trying to go for maybe a lucky goal that kind of just managed to somehow fall in. Unlucky, though, wasn't able to hit that even close to the goal. Probably didn't pick the best player to take the long shot with in the end. All in all, although I could not beat this team in that first game, I still feel strongly good about this team and that I can actually do well with them. Even with the base team that I have, I think I should be able to get in hopefully the upper half of La Liga before the winter transfer window. And I'm hoping for maybe getting into the round of 16 for the League Cup, maybe even further. We'll see. Obviously, we won't have to worry about European tournaments or anything this season. Probably not next season either, if I'm being honest. This is going to be a grind of a career mode. It is a road to glory at the end of the day, even if we are starting in the top flight of Spain. This is definitely still going to be a very hard and very long career mode for us. Like I said, I do plan on doing other career modes in the future, which I will get into at a later date. Usually, probably about a month in, I'll either add a new career mode and still keep going with this one, or take a break from this one and go into another one. As you can see here, I had that last chance in the 90th minute, couldn't pull through. I lose the cup. Cecina, quality gameplay. Like I said, I really couldn't be mad about either one of the goals I conceded in that first game. Second game was a little more disappointing because I did concede that arguably bullshit goal at the beginning of the game and could never fight back from it. But other than that, that is going to be the end of the video today. I should have more gameplay out in the next couple days. At the end of the day, I am a part-time YouTuber at this point. I work almost a full-time job, and I'm a full-time student. In the future, I'll probably be doing live commentaries over the game. Didn't want to do it for this because I did plan on putting the entire preseason tournament into one video. Wanted to go ahead and go over all of my aspirations for the career mode. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy the video. More content on the way. See you later.